Wagyu Monday, and this is a momentous occasion because we are finally documenting the most cultural thing you'll ever experience in your life. It's called Wagyu Monday.
We really don't do crazy stuff. Like, there's nowhere but up from here.
Hey, what's happening, man? No, please,
No.
by all means, it adds to the character of it. I love it.
And then you just Homer Simpson the shit out of this thing. You just keep adding it until it's like an unreasonable amount. When you get to the point where it's an unreasonable amount, you just add more.
All right, chill.
What, bro, what?
It's good. Holy. Spanish Iberico pork chop worthy of a 5-star rating from a top food critic and a Michelin star. Start throwing these on, and we are off.
Listen to that goddamn sizzle. Oh yeah, no.
Wagyu Monday in the books and documented. I think it's good for the culture, and I hope y'all learned something and enjoyed it, and we'll catch you next time, man. Salute. All right, right now we're over here doing a little Wagyu Monday prep. Every Wagyu Monday, it takes some preparation. You know, what I do is a 24-hour marinade. So you need 24 hours to be able to prep the thing, get it in the marinade, and it's got to soak in that for a full 24 hours, one full day. Optimally, you literally want to be cooking the steak about 24 hours from the time that you put the thing in its bath, and you let it rest for 24 hours. So what I'm gonna do first, you always start off with some good salt. I like to use a French coarse salt. Give it a little coating right there, all right? It's kind of just thawing out, so you give it maybe a little pat like that, and flip it over. A little more on the other side. All right. And then it's key, you gotta get all the sides too. Don't forget the sides on a filet. We got here an Omi A5 BMS 12 filet mignon at 6 ounces. We usually get 8 ounces, but they were sold out, so we went with the 6. I actually find, for me personally, the smaller ones are actually usually some of the best. Even the tail, if you could ever get the tail is a nice little cut. If you cook it right, it's one of my favorite cuts. Me personally, as far as Wagyu goes, it's got a much higher fat content than most typical steaks. No matter how good the quality of your steak is, it's never going to touch something that's an A5 steak, let alone a BMS 12. The BMS ratings was going to tell you how good the fat content is, how good the striations of the fat content on the webbing, how not only the quality, I mean, not only how much fat, but the quality of the fat and how it's dispersed. So BMS 12 is the highest rating. A5 is the best type, and this is Omi, which is one of the top 3 prefectures in Japan, along with Kobe, and another one that most haven't heard of. But Omi is the second best to Kobe, or vice versa. I know this one's been around the longest. This one's been around for almost 400 years. So what we're gonna do here is get started. I like to eye most of this stuff out, but so what I do is I start with a base of olive oil at the bottom. You want to get a little balsamic in there, just a little touch, like so. Then you move on to a little balsamic vinaigrette. Put a little in there. I like to give it a good squirt, something like that. We're gonna go with 1 full bottle of Worcestershire sauce, which I should have pre-opened, but I did not. The store was out of regular. We had to get the low sodium. It really doesn't matter because the amount of salt that's going to go into this is, it could kill a horse or an elephant, so it doesn't really matter. So I'm going to dump a full bottle in there. All right. Next you move on to, again, soy sauce. This is a low sodium version. Like I said, with the amount of sodium that goes into this marinade, it really doesn't matter. Okay. Now we got regular teriyaki. Well, forget about the top again. And then last but definitely not least, we got the very, very teriyaki. And if you know, you know. You know, not everybody knows about these things, but this is something different. You got to have this. This is definitely a main ingredient for me. This is, and the Worcestershire sauce is a non-negotiable if you want to taste the full effect of what I'm making here. All right, so there you go. Now, what I do is a tiny little bit of mustard. I'm talking about like a squirt like that. And then we got to cut up a lemon here. Half a lemon, squeeze, nothing crazy. You don't need the whole juice of the lemon, just like a half a lemon. And you just give it a nice squeeze. All right. Now, almost done here. I got a little shout out Flavor God. This is one of my favorite seasonings, is the Garlic Lovers Flavor God. You can give it a little nice touch of that. Lowry's. Can't make a marinade without, you can't make anything really without Lowry's. A nice little fucking spray of Lowry's in there. A little fucking adobo. Don't forget the adobo. It's basically Lowry's. It's just a little different. This is another one of my favorites. Trader Joe's garlic salt. This goes in everything I make, no matter what. Give it 5-10 cracks of that. Then we're gonna go black pepper, fresh cracked pepper right here. Give it a nice little amount of that. That's about right. And then I do a little pink Himalayan salt and pink peppercorn mixture, also from Flavor God, another great thing for marinades I use. That's why I say it really doesn't matter with the sodium. And then if you have one of these, great. If you don't, just mix it up by hand. But these are great, the little hand mixers. Just get it in there nice. Mixes it up real good. And there you go. You drop this baby in here, you let it sit for 24 hours, and then you catch up with us on Wagyu Monday in the parking lot pimping. That's it. Next up on the menu this week for Wagyu Monday, we got an imported Spanish Iberico boneless pork chop. This is basically the Wagyu of pork chops right here. It's a beautiful cut. We've never marinated this. We always eat this as is because it has so much flavor. But as I've learned from experimenting, you can improve and enhance the umami flavors and other flavors that go along in some of the higher end meat that most people wouldn't marinate, like that Omi Wagyu tenderloin that we just did, that filet mignon. I mean, most people would not marinate that, but we found that some of the ways that I marinate it could bring out even more umami flavor and even more flavor of the steak, as well as complement it. And we want to try it with this as well this week. So I didn't really know what to do. I was asking AI for a couple ideas, and I came up with some ideas, and I may try some of those down the line. But for today, I think I'm going to enhance and add to my existing marinade that we just made for the steak, because let's just see how this goes with that flavor profile. I'm going to add a little more heat and a little more spice into this. I got some stuff here from dear friends of mine and guys I met through my beer group. As many of you know that I'm big into beer, and I got guys all over the country. My boy Ooster, shout out my boy Ooster for his mango habanero sauce, homemade. Shout out my boy Buck Strickland for the Appalachian Huntsman. These are great. These are amazing rubs and seasonings he makes. A little thyme I'm going to throw in there. My boy Big Guy Rubs, shout out the homie. And then a little bit of the Flavor God Everything, which just gives it a nice little touch. So we're going to add that to the existing marinade right now. It's just, again, by eye. I kind of have a eye for this. A little thyme here. Just add a little more herbs to it. We're going to get some everything seasoning going here. I'm going to throw a little of this, gotta open this one too. Big guy. I'm going to throw some Appalachian Huntsman in there. And this is the original one he sent me. This is like his just like original rub. The Mothman, I think it's called. No, this one's Bat Boy. And this one is also Bat Boy, I think. I'm pretty sure. These are both the same, I'm pretty sure. This is like his original one. So I'm gonna throw a nice little couple pinches of that in there. Maybe 3 pinches, I'd say. All right. And then we're gonna throw a little Worcester sauce in there. This is some amazing hot sauce. A little bit goes a long way, adds a lot of flavor and a lot of heat. So I'll give it a couple squirts in there. Just like your sister. All right, so now that that's done, we give this another mix up. My mixer, shout out hand mixers. These are great for so many things. I fucking all about this thing. Whoa, you gotta be careful pulling that shit out though. You get that shit all over you, including your fucking fine garments like I am right now. This is why I can't wear white. All right, so now we got this mixed up. We're gonna throw the fucking pork chop in. We got this imported Spanish boneless pork chop, beautiful, unbelievable fat content for such a lean cut. So much flavor, different type of amazing umami flavor in this as well. And dump that in there, and she's off to the races until tomorrow. See you out there in the parking lot.
Fuck yeah. Perfect. Essentially just putting the coals in the starter. We realistically don't even cook on this fucking thing. Sometimes we just take the top grate and cook on here. But right now, just to get some nicer coals going, I'm just gonna throw them into the starter, put some paper underneath, and just let it get till it's, prepared to be cooked. Just to make it nice and simple. We never really used any wood chips or anything because realistically the meat speaks for itself. We really don't do crazy stuff. The craziest shit we do is we marinate the fillets. Just because B-tones marinate is fucking, it's just like liquid gold. There we go. Now we just bam it with some of the fluid. But what really makes it fucking taste better is definitely being in this type of an atmosphere. Like there's nowhere but up from here. And then you just Homer Simpson the shit out of this thing. You just keep adding it until it's like an unreasonable amount. When you get to the point where it's an unreasonable amount, you just add more. And then you can stop. But for good measure, just keep bamming it.
You know what that sound means? It's imagine knowing nothing.
Imagine never knowing nothing.
It's a Wagyu Monday, and this is a momentous occasion because we are finally documenting the most cultural thing you'll ever experience in your life.
This is as culture.
It's called Wagyu Monday.
Wagyu Wednesday on a Monday.
And we've been doing this now since 2017, 2018, when we first discovered Wagyu together.
He knew about Wagyu. This man's been eating it for years. He taught me the nuances of it.
Well, what it was is, so we all, me, Stave, Bree, we all worked here at the same time in a couple of stores that are behind us that are no longer here. And every Monday I would work. I only worked there on Monday, and they were both here. And I worked one side, she worked the other side, and he was managing. And he was the owner of one of the businesses here. And basically, how it all went down was me and my buddy Joe, we were hanging out every Monday, cracking a beer or something like that, trying, we were always sharing some beers. The homie Joe came through, we were sharing some beers. He started coming every Monday. Me and him were already kind of going after Wagyu in all different types of ways, mostly on the internet through Facebook groups and stuff like that. We met a couple guys who were importing some really rare cuts of meat that really no one was seeing in the U.S.
Oh, yeah.
And we were going after them on those avenues. And then Stave kind of found out about it. I mean, we went to AC one night, we ate some Wagyu, and it was all right. It was some like
that was it.
low level Wagyu, but he was hooked. And he started going crazy trying to get these different cuts and stuff. And then me and Joe and him were kicking in, and it was making it easier because three of us were going in on all sorts of stuff to try.
At one point, we had a victory wall, I remember. Just all the different cuts from all the Japanese prefectures.
We had the stickers. We were saving the stickers of every single prefecture that, and for those of you who don't know, basically how it works with Wagyu is in Japan, there's different regions, and there's different farms on different regions that are very specifically raising their specific breed of cow that was raised in a specific way. Each one of these types of Wagyu beef are completely different. They're completely unique from one another, but they're also very similar because they share similar characteristics, but at the same time, they have nuances of very different stuff that you will not find in any other type of food. It's very umami. It's very flavorful. It's hard to even explain until you try it. We also learned quickly though that these are very decadent, overbearing things to eat by yourself. This is something to be shared. When you think you could eat a giant ribeye, you would not want to eat a giant ribeye of an A5 BMS 12 ribeye. You're talking about, it's almost 90% fat. The whole thing is fat. You'd be full in 2 seconds flat. So we were trying every cut, and you know, today we're gonna cook, I think we're in agreement, am I right? Our favorite cut.
Correct.
The filet mignon overall is the best because there's no filet mignon in the world that's gonna have this kind of fat content and this kind of marbling. And there's really just nothing like it. So
the taste is phenomenal. It's so much more to eat. The fatty ones, like the ribeyes and the strips, are good, but they're just extremely fatty to the point where you feel ashamed of yourself after you eat the whole damn thing. But this is phenomenal. This you could eat. So we showed you the BTS,
and we showed you the BTS on how to prepare this.
It's rated. There's a rating system for the steaks. It goes from A1 to A5. A5 obviously being the best. Marbling content goes from a 0 to 12 scale. We only get
go for 12
BMS 12. Like, we've gotten other cuts.
We've tried everything.
We always try and make sure
we've
that
tried
we have
Australian Wagyu. We've tried US Wagyu. We've tried hybrids. We've tried every level, every fat content, every BMS rating, everything.
Nothing
and at the end of the day, the best cut that we found that is consistently amazing with nuances to it is the filet mignons. Anything A5 BMS 12. Go through the whole list of them. They're all good in their own way. Some we like obviously better than others. You know, there's the olive, there's the drunken, there's the Kobe, there's the wine, the Kobe wine beef. We've gone through many phases of different prefectures and different techniques of raising the cattle and types of hybrids and stuff like that. But this is one that we've never tried.
Yeah, this is
and the reason why we do Wagyu Monday is for two reasons: for us to try new stuff and for us to introduce new stuff to others. Like our boy Lenny, who's here today, he's coming through to try some of our shit for the first time, and like Angelo, who's BTS right now, killing it. He's gonna try his first thing, and that's why we do it. Is for us all experience some dope shit together.
Bring each other together.
And on a Monday, most people hate a Monday, but we could just be like, yo, you could love life on a Monday. You know what I'm saying? And let me tell you something.
Good meat, we get.
You don't need no fancy restaurant. You don't need no fancy chef. You don't need no fancy location. You could be in a parking lot next to a dumpster on a pallet with the bare minimum stuff and just know how to cook a steak on this little shopping cart in front of you, and you could see that. You'll see the outcome. Another thing we could talk about quick before I get started is like, most people think it would be sacrilegious for me to marinate this steak. It's so good. Why would you marinate it? Well, that's another thing we've delved into is like, we've done the testing. Are the steaks absolutely phenomenal without being marinated? Yes, they're incredible. They're the best thing you'll ever have in your life. But if you find the right marinade that really works with the cut, brings it to a different level, 100%.
Not even that. The marinating gives it that crisp you want. You want a little bit of a crisp. Like
100%. It helps.
It helps. I feel like you struggle. You can't even get it to well done. Just
and the crust is everything on a steak. You know, you want a nice little bark on the steak, and this definitely helps with that.
But beyond us loving our fucking meats, we always loved our weed and terps. So we always bring some of the best weed, some of the best wax that we have to offer each other.
Yeah, we just sharing, you know,
it's becoming to a showcase of getting the best beer and terps and meat in the world.
It's just enjoying the best things that you have to understand the nuances of to appreciate, and like really enjoying them together and talking about them. And I think that's what it's all about, you know what I mean?
So right now we're pairing this filet. This is an orange-fed umami. Umi.
I think it's omi.
Orange fed. So we have the
It's
AJ
our first time having
here.
it. It's one of the top three, and
sativa.
it's the oldest.
It is the oldest.
It's the oldest prefecture. It's over 400 years old.
Who placed in the Wagyu Olympics this year? I know
we just tried that one. That was the last one we did.
Was it?
Yeah, the last one we did was the one that won the Wagyu Olympics, and unfortunately we didn't tape that one, but that was very good. We didn't marinate that one though.
Because I know we were the first ones to have the bone-in olive in the States.
That is true.
Second, sorry. Nick was the first. We were the second.
That is true.
That was, to this day, some of the craziest fucking Wagyu I've ever had. The shit just melts in your mouth.
Yeah, I mean, again, there are certain ones that are better than others, but in my opinion, like really, if you get like you said, if you get A5, BMS 12, and it's from a reputable source, you're not gonna be disappointed.
And then the beer. This man runs the Illuminati of beer. He put me onto so many different fucking cuts of beer.
Cuts of beer.
Cuts of beer. Just beer in general. Monkish Mondays has become a thing for me.
Yeah, you know, Monkish Mondays is big in the community. If you're into beer, you probably heard of Monkish Monday. That's like, you know, one of the best breweries out in California. We've talked about it before in the pod. And, you know, every Monday we would definitely bring usually Monkish. I didn't bring any today, but...
You got me hooked on the answer to
we
the
used
point
to do
where
Wagyu Wednesdays, because
almost
Mondays
got
turned to
fucking-
Wednesdays at
I
one
should
point.
have.
So it was Wagyu Monday, Wagyu Wednesday, Wagyu one Monday and a Wednesday, Wagyu Wednesday and a Monday. You never really know.
going.
All right, so we got this thing ready to go here.
So we can even use
the coals
grill.
got to go down a little
Coals
bit more,
gotta
so we'll let
definitely
this
go
rest
down.
and come up to a little more temperature. Just came out of the fridge anyway.
I mean, look at that cut.
Yeah, I mean,
Just make sure the seagulls don't get it. We got to fight them off. We're always
you got to
fighting
fend
out
off
here.
the seagulls out here.
Always fighting out here. Homer Simpson, this thing a little more.
All right, chill.
What, bro, what?
It's good. Holy.
This is half the fun, is trying to burn ourselves alive.
So Lenny, how much like Wagyu have you tried so far?
I think this is like my third time.
Okay.
Has that been with us?
Yeah.
Each time it's...
The first time you did it with us,
with you guys.
which was the Wagyu Olympic
Second time was a week later at my buddy's house in California.
Okay.
The week after I left.
Oh, so you got the itch. When you went out there, you were like, let me see what's
And then I started comparing your numbers.
Yes.
And I knew we were at the top of the top. So
Yeah.
it was good money. You know?
Do you remember
So,
the cut you had out there?
I remember the BMS was definitely like half
Half of what we
Yeah.
get.
A lot of
Okay.
times, the average that you'll see in a restaurant, 6, 7, 8, sometimes a 9. You're not very rare. If it does go above that, they'll say it on it. It'll be like it's BMS 11. You know what I mean? They think that's BMS 12 is like a big jump. It's a big jump even from an 11 to a 12. If I'm being honest with you.
Yeah.
You know.
I rememred the 12, and that was I knew that was the high point. So I
Some
was
of them are
comparing
hard.
everything else to
Some of them are harder. I mean, it's kind of like you really have to look at the intricacies of that as well, the fat content and the webbing and all that.
The mob,
But there are certain ones that's like bigger jumps, and I feel like from 11 to 12 is one of those ones where you're like, okay, this is a different level. Yeah, yeah. And you know, I think our hierarchy, I would say, is like fillet, strip, and then ribeye.
So the ribeye is too fatty. I remember you and me split that ribeye one time.
We've
bro.
done a lot of
I
ribeyes, and we
did
usually
not-
regret it.
Like ribeye, you got to share a couple pieces of it. It's got to be like a 2 ounce, 3 ounce cut. Any more than that, you're fucking. It's just too much fat.
Yeah, it
Too
really
much
is.
fat.
You have to
slow down,
understand,
you wanna
even
sleep.
even on
Like
the
it
fillet,
affects your body. Yeah.
even on the fillet, you're talking a normal fillet probably has, I don't even know, I'm just guessing 5 to 8% fat at the best, right? Yeah. This you're jumping up to 20, 30% on some of these cuts where it's like that's a lot for a fillet. Like that, no normal fillet is that kind of fat content, and it does change the complete game because like. And here's another thing we could talk about before I get cooking, before the comment section goes crazy.
pork chop.
The way you cook the steak is very important.
Yes.
Because we've done a lot of testing on that as well. And you have to understand, when you're cooking a ribeye that's 80, 90% fat, you can't cook it that rare you like your steak normally. Unless you want chewy, flavorless fat and you're a mongrel of some sort who likes to eat like dead animals who aren't cooked. It's like a sicko. Nobody could possibly enjoy it. You know, you have to render the fat. At the end of the day, who doesn't want to eat fat that isn't rendered? That's like eating raw bacon. Who would want to do that? You know what I'm saying? So people have to understand the way you cook Wagyu is not the same way you cook a regular steak, in my opinion. We've done a lot of research, and from my research, I say between medium rare and medium plus is usually the best. And I'll be honest with you, there's been times where, you know, you fuck up a little bit and it goes to that medium well. And let me tell you something, if you cook it right and you lock in the juices, you ain't gonna be mad. Not on Wagyu.
No.
You know what I'm saying?
With those fattier
and
cuts.
it's better to be slightly overdone than slightly underdone, because underdone, you'll be chewing on that thing like it's leather. It's a difference of rendering the fat. You have to render the fat. If you do not render the fat, it's not going to have the same effect.
The fattier
That's my
cuts,
opinion.
you could go almost try and get to well done, and you're still, it's so fatty, you're still swimming.
Exactly.
Which is great because at that point, like,
And the other
I
thing
feel like
is, we talked about the
locking
crust.
in the crust, that is,
That's pivotal.
Yes.
And you're not going to get the crust when you're fast cooking the way I do, going a medium rare.
True
You're
enough.
not getting that kind of crust if you're going. It's impossible. You know, you're not going to have that thing cooked to the doneness exactly you want and have it charred unless you do it the way we do it, which is kind of like a really slow cook dance around the fire with this thing. And also, you saw me butterfly it. That's another thing. butterflying a fillet is pivotal as well.
Because it's thick.
It's a thick steak. You're
Thick
not going to
bitch.
have the middle exactly where you want it unless you butterfly it.
And we
This
don't
is
have
about
a
a
sauce
dance.
vid here or anything to get like the, or
Yeah,
even
absolutely.
an oven. All we got is a dumpster.
All
Which
right,
is
so what about Bree? Let's talk about how Bree came in. So Bree blows
been a little
glass.
sis.
She's a glass artist. And when she was like first really cutting her teeth, she was in the back of one of these spots in a glass shop, practicing blowing glass every day, putting her numbers in. And she would just always be hanging out when we were doing Wagyu Monday, but she would hold down the fort when we were out back cooking. She was like the guard dog of the inside, but
shops.
also practicing her craft. So she would, be sitting there when we come in, and obviously, what do you think? We're not gonna hook the homie up. We walking in, obviously, she got to eat everything. So
Oh,
she
yeah.
is. Let me tell you something. She's as knowledgeable as anybody I've ever talked to on Wagyu, 100%. So it really comes down to like we're missing one piece of the puzzle. My homie Joe. Unfortunately, he'll be definitely in a later episode. He's not on this one, but he definitely will be on a later episode. And he's obviously the other
The OG.
cornerstone of the Wagyu Monday, and it all started with us 100%. So shout out to homie Joe.
We do just love good beer, terps, and fucking meat.
Yeah, no, that's a
Every
fact.
Monday.
And that's what it really is all about, yo. Wagyu Monday was all about like, yo, we first off, look where we are.
We're
You
in the,
see
the
what I'm
most.
saying?
The ambiance here is beautiful. Honestly.
And people, if
Beautiful.
you're not from New York, you're probably gonna be like, what the fuck is going on? What kind of sewer rat Wagyu? But you have to understand.
$500 steak on a paper plate.
Yeah, well, that's another thing. We serve on paper
Beautiful.
plates only. That's it. Plastic forks and knives, paper
Oh.
plates. We cutting on paper plates. I don't care.
The sun looks like it's cooked.
This is how we do it. It's just bare minimalist,
Bare-
bare
barbaric.
minimalist,
Some might say.
upper echelon, definitely Zagat rated, deserving of Michelin stars, top tier
True Michelin
steak
star.
you've never seen in your life. That's 100% true. I'm excited for the homie Lenny to try some
I'm
of
excited
my
for the pork
marinade. We were
chop.
talking about the marinade the first time he tried the Wagyu, and I was trying to explain to him like how it brings a whole different level. So I'm excited for him to try that. I'm big time excited for the homie Angelo to get started because Angelo's been hearing me talk about this shit forever. I think he tried one rotten yellow Wagyu, I think. Pretty sure it was like
Pull out the
some
pork.
terrible rotten meat he ate one
Enough-
time. Definitely was nothing in comparison to what he's gonna eat today.
Enough of this
Um,
A-roll. Pull out the pork chop.
Okay, yeah.
We got
Also,
pork chop.
not only are we cooking steak today, we're also cooking a fucking fire pork chop.
Do you know how to pronounce it? I can't.
It's a Birico, I
a
believe.
Birico?
A Birico.
So you usually see this thing. It's at the Italian shops where they just cut.
It's like
cut
speck.
it right in front of
It's
you.
like speck. You know what I'm
It's like
saying?
the thin
Yeah.
line, prosciutto almost. It looks
It's like
but
speck, I'm pretty sure.
So-
Something like that. You can look it up. I don't know.
This
We got
is an actual
ChatGPT
cut
now and
of
shit.
it, the pork chop of it.
Which, by the way, speaking of ChatGPT, like I definitely have been using ChatGPT for recipes, for coming up with ideas to
Really?
spice shit up. Like I used it honestly for that pork chop. The reason I bring it up is like you handed me this thing, and I've never marinated
So
one
what
of
was
those
your
before.
input to ChatGPT? What did you
Like
put
what I'll
in
do is I'll write something like this. I'll be like,
pork chop?
create a recipe for a Spanish Iberico pork chop worthy of a 5-star rating from a top food critic and a Michelin star.
Okay, that's a fucking.
And it will give me like ideas, recipe, all this shit, and then I'll tweak it to my own liking. Like, and I'm like, all right, now add this to it and take away this from it, and then it will like tweak it, and then I'll be like, okay, now put more of this in it, and it will tweak it, and then I get it to a certain point. I'm like, all right, let me test it, and then
You're
I'll test
cold.
it, and then I'll tweak it again. I'll
Life
be like,
hack.
listen, this is this. You go right back to the chat that you were talking about it, and be like, yo,
This is funny. We're
this is
literally
what went wrong. How do I
bums
fix
in-
it? Try
behind
to
by
add
the
a little more
dumpster,
yeast, whatever
just
the
fucking
fuck.
trying to heat ourselves
Like
up.
we trying to figure out how to make sourdough bread right now.
There's a good blueprint with your spices, added on to it.
That's what it and so what I did with the pork chop was I had all this leftover liquid gold from making for the steak, and we only had this little cut. And I'm looking at it, I'm like, I can't just toss this. It's fucking amazing marinade. And I'm like, well,
Oh,
we never
fucking
tried the
seagulls.
pork chop with it, so let's fucking give it a whirl. And it's what is this? Fucking the birds? What is this? Fucking Alfred Hitchcock?
Yo, between them eating the Mexican food and the Chinese food here, these birds are ruthless in this parking lot. They destroy the car.
So anyway, basically, I added a bunch of
know,
spices
they're
and stuff that I would probably put on some ribs or some pork butt or pork shoulder or something like that. And I put a little spice to it too. My homie's hot sauce and some some other shit too. So a bunch of
Something,
extra
right.
flavor, some extra
Oh, we got a new
little
guest.
something on that one.
We got a new
Because I
guest.
know what brings out the best of this. I want to see, like, I feel like with the pork chop, I always like a little bit of a kick, a little heat, a little.
People like applesauce. Yo, you could come.
Hey, what's happening, man? No, please,
No.
by all means. It adds to the character of it. I love it.
Thank you.
Sorry to be in your way.
course.
Not my way at all. I think I'm in your way.
When we're done, please come back and try some delicious Wagyu beef. Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, no doubt about it. All right, so we getting close here, and what we're looking for here is with you want to heat the coals up to be burning fucking hot, and you want them to be burning fucking white, and you want them to be very close to the grate, but you don't want it to be fucking touching the grate. You obviously don't want ash on your meat. So what we're doing right now is just waiting for the
ash on the
coals to
meat.
kind of settle down a little bit, get to a perfect position under the grate, so that you could have direct blazing heat directly on the fucking
So we could
thing.
either
And that's
do-
what you want.
We could either do
The
this
higher
or
the
wait
heat,
for
the
those.
better. The closer the flame without too close, the better. You want to lock that fucking juice in, and you want to give it a fucking nice crust. That's what it's really all about. And you want to dance it around. Don't leave it on one side too long. It's better to keep flipping it, in my opinion, than to just leave it. People say leave it. No, not with this. Not in this style of cooking. You want to
So-
dance it around and make sure each shot is nice and even.
The fat's gonna fucking drip off this shit, and it's gonna be engulfed in flames. So the moment it hits the coal, it just goes.
It will
up.
take a little time. It's a little windy today. It's cold. It's windy. It'll
And
take
it's
a little
not
time, but
as
we'll
fatty
get it. And
since
we'll
it's
get
a
it going.
fillet too, so that's nice.
You have to do, the conditions do matter on Wagyu Monday. You know what I'm saying? On a nice spring or summer day, this is going to go a lot smoother than the winter in the freezing cold wind. But this is the nicest day in a while, so I will take
We've
it.
done it in much
Yeah,
worse.
this
We've done
compared
it
to
in
what
a
we've been
rainstorm.
dealing with, yeah.
We've done it in a fucking tent that was flying away from us.
So let's get the pork out.
Yes, that's what I'm
Pass me
excited
a couple
for.
plates. Yes, sir.
Give me a couple so I could cover the Wagyu, just in case these dumb birds.
No, we're good.
No, we're
They're not
good.
going to.
Fair enough.
Has a.
Pretty bastards.
Okay. Yo, pass me those tongs, please.
Of course.
Yes, sir.
Wipe them down.
It's all good. They're gonna be cooking meat anyway. The flame will take care of that. So this is a fucking beautiful, absolutely gorgeous cut of boneless pork chop. It's got the craziest fat content I've ever seen in a pork chop, and I've had these before. This is by far the best one I've ever seen.
Oh, that looks good.
This is the first time we tried marinating it, like
Yeah.
I just talked about. So we're gonna see how that fares for this cut. Again, it's about trying new shit. You know what I mean?
We're smoking a Jeffrey Palms hash hole. There's a gram and a half of tamarito. I can't even pronounce it. Tamarito flour along with its live rosin. Tasty terp.
Definitely. Definitely want to get a hit of the sour.
AJ, it's right there. It's
Is
still
it-
fresh pressed before it starts to fucking nucleate. I'll
Let's,
throw some in there. The dabber's
Let's
on
get
top of your
that going.
bag.
And here's the thing: is maybe
Yeah,
I
I'll
should.
get you.
You think
one
I
set up.
should? You think I should start with the pork chop? Or
Yeah.
do you think I should just?
This one you could throw the pork chop on, see how it cooks. And
Yeah.
then if you're feeling frisky with it, you could throw the fillet.
I could fit it.
If not, we have the stack still going too, so we can always go there. I'll
Alright.
start with that. Lenny, would you just be able to open the dumpster for this gentleman?
Oh, absolutely. Please.
You want the AJ Sour, you saying, right?
Oh yeah, please. AJ Sour, one of my favorite all time.
This is your favorite strain out of all like strains.
Well,
like out of
I wouldn't
all
say
strains,
AJ
this
Sour.
is
I
your
would say
go-to.
sour in general is top 5 for me. Yeah.
Okay.
Sour diesel, haze, chem,
I mean, like pits.
anything citrus, and like OG. If I had to pick
Anything
top 5,
citrus.
that's my top 5.
So do you think there's a big difference between Tangy and like, let's say,
There's nuances in all orange terps,
Okay,
and there's
yeah.
nuances in all citrus terps, and that's what I love about it.
all right. Yeah, the-
Some
I
shit's
love Jack.
terpenylene,
Jack
some
is
shit's
so-
limonene, some shit's
Jack
pinene.
takes me-
I like all that
takes
shit.
me back to a time. Cameraman. Oh shit. Spread love.
All right,
Brooklyn
so
way.
I gave it its first flip here.
You already threw it on. Oh, I missed it.
You know, it's.
Yeah, you're good to go whenever
I
you
think,
want.
to
Just
be
double
honest
click.
with you, this kind of needs a shake.
Shake, shake, shake. Well, you're on a shopping cart, so shake
Gotta
that
get
shit
the
like it
ash
is.
moving. There
Pick
we
it
go.
up. I would say
No,
pick
we're
it up
good.
and I'll
We're
just
good.
shake the whole thing.
Well, get this shit the fuck out of here, though.
Basically empty. Got dabber tool. Whoa. You're good to go on the Puffco Peak. You just grab it, double click.
And this is how you do it. You multitask and everything.
Oh, this knife. This knife is beautiful. Do you sharpen this thing?
I haven't sharpened it since I got it.
Really?
Yeah, once I see it stops, like, cutting as good, I mean, it's probably due for one, if I'm being honest with you.
This isn't considered
that's
Damascus, is it?
That's not my nicest
This
knife.
isn't-
That's like my bring around
Still
knife.
got it. So this is 3-layer. This isn't Damascus.
No, it's not Damascus. It's like, just looks cool.
You know the original form of Damascus, like how they made it, is lost to time and like space. They don't know how they originally made Damascus. They
No.
only have like the new method.
No, how? Go ahead.
No, that's all I know about it. I wish I knew.
Oh, good.
Nice
We can
lesson.
chat
I
GDP
thought
that,
you,
too.
Yeah, I thought you knew more about that. Chat GDP. Oh shit, this guy's on his way.
All right. Let's keep the cell phones to a minimum.
Shit.
This guy's forgetting where he is right now.
know.
That's how Wagyu Mondays go.
I am.
This thing is kind of going a little slow.
That's it.
It's okay, though. That's all right. With the pork chop, it's kind of like not as important with this one to go such high heat. This one, I don't mind going the way we're going. I mean, the fat content on it is literally out of control. I've never seen any fucking pork chop remotely close to this.
No, I don't think so either, man.
And you could just look at it, and it's just like, you know this is nice. You know what I'm saying? Have you guys tried any of this kind of pork chop yet? No, right? All right. I know Angelo hasn't either. I was talking to him about it yesterday after we did the preparation of it. And, yeah, I'm excited, man, because, like, the marinade, I really feel like is going to be perfect for this. With the amount of heat I put into this, it's going to be just right.
It does.
Just
right. This is
I
like
wish
the
my
best
homie
cut
Joe
of
was here
bacon.
because I know he loves this shit too. But like I said, we'll get him back in the next episode 100%.
He's having a new kid now, isn't he?
No, he already had one.
This kid's got like a litter of children. 6 at this point, right?
No, he's got 3. He's killing it. I don't know how he does it. God bless him.
Yeah, I don't know how to fuck.
So fucking
We used to get empanadas on Mondays too.
yeah.
almost every month.
Joe used to bring either
Holy shit.
empanadas
Those were fire.
or he'd bring something else. There was some other shit he would
Beer.
sometimes bring. He was always bringing some shit.
He was always
repas, all sorts of shit.
Platanos.
All sorts of shit. Yeah, we used to experiment with a lot of shit. Plus, then we'd have other homies who come through. And, like, I don't eat seafood. I've many times said this. I famously don't eat seafood. But they would bring, like, crazy oysters and clams casino and fucking all sorts of shit. We've done caviar. We tried caviar.
Yo, we had those. Yeah, the crazy.
We've done a bunch of
Russian
different types of
sturgeon.
truffles. Fresh white truffle.
That was my favorite.
We've done
the white
all
truffle.
sorts of shit, man. We really have. We've tried many different cuts. We've tried Denver cuts. We've tried top round cube. We've tried flank steak, skirt steak, the tomahawk rib flap. Fucking
Yeah.
you name it, man. We really tried almost anything you can name. And
You're
that's
right.
what it's all about. It's just like trying new shit and experiencing fucking life.
Exactly. Smoke what we can right by a dumpster.
This is ultimate culture. I don't care what anyone says. Is like experiencing
looking
cool shit
good.
in this environment. And like, you know, people walk by to throw shit out. You'll offer them a fucking piece of fucking $1,000 steak. It don't, you know, that's life.
It's life. It's where it took us. Why don't you throw some marinade on there?
You could.
give it a little
I'm
more
not trying
time,
to do it.
yeah.
If you want to dump a little tiny bit,
No, you can wait. You can wait. Maybe towards the end we dump it.
what I can do is this.
Ooh, put the lemon on top.
It's actually not a horrible idea. Really, it's not a bad idea. Yo, give me that top plate, please.
Of course.
So not a bad idea, Steve. See, this is why we pay you the big bucks.
I'm just stoned and hungry as shit now. I don't care about anything.
He said, I don't care about anything. Oh man, Me and Steve, let me tell you something. We've had some
We've had some good times.
some funny fucking times back here.
Dude,
I mean,
I miss
why? Please tell your experience of cooking with me in tropical storm that time.
so we had meat. It was defrosted. Like there was no option. We had to fucking cook it. Like it's either that or I'm eating this thing by myself in a shamed way. And
It was already defrosted. At that
Defrosted,
point, you have to understand.
Got to do it.
When you take out a cut like this, there's no fucking refrosting. There's no refrosting. It's defrosted. That's it. You cook the thing.
I think everything was closed, or everything was closing because the island was like going to shit.
It was
'cause
like
of northeastern storm.
almost a hurricane.
So we had a tent. I figured, get some rain, which was a terrible idea.
Correct.
Terrible idea. I got the tent out, I set the whole tent up, I put the weights on it. The wind is just trying to tear this tent away. So as I'm trying to keep this tent just somewhat
We started
built
putting
around
weights
it,
on it.
yeah, we had
We
more
was
than
like
just
putting
the weights
cinder
on it.
blocks, like whatever we could
Everything.
find.
So it's just literally you're holding it while you're cooking, and
It
I'm
was
still
blowing
trying to
away
keep this thing
in
place.
extreme weight, holding it down,
yes.
and you and me were both holding it down, and we had to cook under the tent while holding the tent down.
Ever since then, I knew we were gonna keep doing these Mondays because that's how much we love.
Yeah,
this
it's
fucking-
devotion. This is rain, sleet, hail.
The
We are
food
here
is
in the cold.
phenomenal.
The cold's the worst.
Yes.
When
the
it's
cold-
snowing and cold, that's the worst. But you still tough through it.
tough through it because at the end of it, you're eating better. Like when I go to a steakhouse now, I never order steak. Ever order steak. I look at their other shit that they have, whatever pasta they have, whatever seafood they have, whatever
It's a great
other
point.
things they order.
It's a great point.
Just 'cause I've already
We've
had the
become
best of
spoiled.
it. I've had the best of it. Yeah, the chef can cook it
Yes.
perfection.
Yes.
I can
Well, they
always
have
get it
great.
cooking
They have
perfection.
great super high heat ovens and the fucking
Wood
auto
burning
grills or whatever they
stoves,
got.
whatever.
But
Everybody's
we've
got a
tried
key
it.
in
We've had it. I could go to fucking, no disrespect whatsoever, but I
Of
could go to
course.
fucking any top steakhouse you can name. I'm not going to say any fucking names, but you know them. Some of them are in Brooklyn. Some of them are in Manhattan. Some are here out on
across
the
the
island.
street.
I've been all over. I've seen all sorts of spots who was supposed to have some fire steaks and fire Wagyu, all this shit. Nothing has come remotely close to what we've done in this fucking dumpster parking lot.
No, of course not. That's
And-
why it
and-
also opens up the other.
And just like you said, it was a great point.
Items.
It was a great point. I go to a restaurant, I don't even slightly. Sometimes my girl will be like, "You're not even looking at the steak." I'm like, "There's no chance in fuck.
Yeah.
I'm eating any steak."
Red
Dude,
meat's not good for you to begin with, apparently.
People
Who
don't
knows?
get
I
it
don't
because
give a
they've
shit
never
either.
experienced, like you said, the upper
Toss it
echelon.
if it's done. We got plenty more. Got plenty more to smoke, and we're gonna eat well too.
Like you said though, like there's a difference between the upper echelon. You know what I mean?
But now I get to try all the good shit that like the restaurant has to offer. These guys are supposed to not just stand on steak alone. So like, let's see what else they have to offer. 'Cause
True.
Back then, you always felt like obligated. Like, yo, I come to a steakhouse, I need to eat the steak. Or like Osteria Umbra.
Yeah, well, that's one thing.
Delicious place.
Can I
Like,
tell you
you go
something?
there just for the pasta. Yeah, they got steak. They even offer you American Wagyu. If you know what it is, it's just
Can I tell you something? I love that place, and as good as it is, I don't care what Italian place you go to. If you go to an Italian spot and your thought is, let me get the steak.
yeah,
What are you doing?
yeah. You're
Why are you
already
going to an Italian
backwards,
restaurant if
yeah.
you're having steak? Go to a fucking steakhouse if you want steak.
Correct.
If you're at an Italian restaurant, get fucking Italian cuisine.
Yep.
I'm sorry, that's my take on it. I'm a strong believer in that. I've been out with people a million times, and we're at an Italian spot and they get steak, and I'm in my head like, what the fuck?
A
Why?
lot of people hear the word Wagyu and they don't understand it. So either they're buying American
Mostly
Wagyu,
American, or
Australian,
it's usually American or
yeah,
Australian,
and
they're not even close.
They're like, yeah, ground beef or ground Wagyu. It's usually just a chuck.
That's a common misconception. Is like they hear either Kobe or they hear Wagyu, and they automatically think it's actually that upper echelon shit.
Kobe
Just
could
because it
be the
says, just because it says a name Kobe top prefecture or
put some of
Omi
the
top
dads
prefecture
on it.
doesn't mean it's the top cut. It has to be, like we said, an A5 BMS 12 from a reputable source. That's the only thing that's going to distinguish it. That's the truth.
meat always
This
speaks for itself.
this thing's getting there. I think we're
Oh,
about
this thing
there.
looks phenomenal.
It's looking good.
But it is pork. It is going to be cooked through.
Yeah, I mean, we
But it
got
looks
fucking
good. It looks
18
like it's
wheelers
marble.
pulling out. We got fucking
That looks great.
all sorts of background interference. There's drones. It's, this is the world we live in.
Should we aluminum foil this?
Let's take a step into the fucking Wagyu Monday.
Wagyu. It's just
I got to be honest. I got to be honest.
Look, pick it up.
I feel like there was other times that we've gone through even harder shit. back here with like as far as background interference. Like, do you remember the time that the old man got lost back here? Do you remember that?
No,
So
remind me. I don't even
one day
remember
I was
this.
cooking Wagyu back here, and as I was cleaning up,
Okay.
an elderly gentleman, very old, I'm talking about extremely old.
Oh, poor guy.
He was like a war veteran. He was confused. He didn't know where he was. He didn't know who to call.
That's-
I was talking to him for an hour trying to figure it out, trying to help him out. I didn't want to have to call the police, the poor guy. You know what I mean?
Of course.
So I was trying to figure it out. Finally, I get like his son on the line. He gives me the address of where he lives. He's like, do you think you could just follow him back and have him follow you and make sure he gets home? And I'm like, really? And he's like, yeah, I'll meet him there, just please. I'm like, all right, no problem. So I had to like very slowly make sure this guy followed me back to his
I
house.
think I vaguely remember this. It happened in the morning, right? Like you were the only
It was
one
like
here?
I was the only one here. I had to close the store, lock the store, go drive him home, and I was
Wow.
yeah.
I think I remember that morning. Yeah,
was
I wasn't
driving?
even
He
here.
was
then.
driving.
Wow, it's even scarier,
It's
right?
scary. It's scary, and I was worried the whole time driving. Like, please just fucking.
Dude, that's scary. The dementia shit. But Bruce Willis now has had the dementia. Now they say Whitney
Scary.
Williams. They're coming out with the Whitney Williams special with the dementia shit. She apparently lost
So
him.
a big way I find out if it's done is just by the feel of it, and this is feeling pretty done.
Okay. Good shit.
We'll cut it open and make sure, but let it rest. And we're not using fucking thermometers, ever. We're not using any fancy equipment. We're on a shopping cart
So
in a $10 mini charcoal grill
we're as fancy
with-
as they fucking come.
with, I don't even know where I found these. These were in like a fucking cabinet that I didn't even know was there.
And the dumpster up the block.
I'm talking about the lowest level lighter fluid, the
Oh,
lowest
no.
level charcoal. I'm talking, this is bare minimalist, and it's gonna taste the way we're about to get it. If I was to do this in like any type of professional setting, it would be, I don't even know. I don't think words could possibly explain. So here we are, we're at perfect temp here. I think I'm gonna fucking start throwing these on. And we are off. I am gonna do both at once. And you hear that sizzle,
Instantly.
and that's what you want. You want it not ripping flame, but so hot that it sizzles. The burning white hot.
Look at that. It looks, it's like even turning redder on this side, like instantly. the
Right
blue's
away,
turning-
you can see the fat on the side start already.
Oh!
No fucking way. We got Wagyu Wednesday Original popping up, pulling up in the fucking house. Holy
Yo, he's one of
shit.
the OGs too.
Another OG. I haven't seen this guy in
He's just
probably
been
3
there.
years.
He's just always been in the way.
Haven't seen this guy in 3 years. He pops into the podcast.
The fucking what do you call it? Sesh they had here.
Schmofest.
Dude, that was 2 years ago.
What's up? No,
it wasn't.
Why?
It was like a year max.
All right.
What's up?
Well, I didn't see you a year before that either, so it's basically 2 years. The homie Pat, I've known this guy since before I was even over here. We randomly, this is small world of current stuff. This is the type of world it is. My boy Pat used to work at East West, which is a legendary
The
glass
OG
shop and
spot.
fashion store. Absolute
OG
fucking
spot.
legendary spot in Long Island. R.I.P. Shout out Harv. And shout out Squire.
I started there too.
And I met all these guys through there, but then me and him, my boy Pat was friends with my boy who owned the shop over here with Stave. And, we reconnected and we became friends because he's been at many Wagyu Mondays. In fact, Angela, we're going to have to mic him up, I think. I don't know. We might have to mic him up. We're going to have to get some stories from Pat in here.
Definitely do.
It's too coincidental that you pop in here at the perfect timing wearing the perfect outfit. Oh, are you really?
Tonight?
Let's fucking
Nice.
go, dude.
Oh, so you got to go to Unconventional anyway. I don't know, bro. My phone's constantly going off right now. I'm supposed to keep it in my pocket.
Angelo, is there another mic?
Yo, this fucking steak.
So we're looking pretty
It
good
looks-
here.
This one looks more like the heart. That's the heart cut right there. That's the beauty cut. Ooh, look at that pop. Can that thing hear the pop? Can you hear the sizzle through the mic?
I hope so.
Listen to that goddamn sizzle. Oh yeah, no. Listen to the sizzle.
Yeah, I mean, it does
What's up,
sound
Patrick?
incredible. It does sound incredible. I love the sounds. It's like fucking, what is it called? ASMR? Whatever the fuck that shit is.
Oh, XMs.
Like, yeah, like with the broad who like fucking twinkles her fingers on a fucking car tire.
Oh, that chick, yes. That's exactly yeah.
Hey, Pat, come over here. Let's get your some Pat takes in here. He pulls up on us in the middle of the pod.
He's been tagging me in this stories all day.
because
That's
Fuck
You're
yeah, dude. I'm
supposed to
glad you
come.
pulled up. I mean, and this is what it's about. Like, we're always bringing people. We're always trying to share it.
Did you guys
This-
like fashion this table?
Yeah.
Just from here.
Yeah, of course. 3 tires,
3 tires.
a pallet.
Phenomenal.
Michelin's.
There's all sorts of extra accessories that have been laying around.
TV here too. That shopping cart is from the fucking 50s. Look at that thing. The thing's never been washed.
You guys need anything?
Or-
No,
You
we're
need
good,
anything?
man. But yo, so let's talk about your Wagyu experience. When's the
Yeah,
first
we
time
need
you
a
had
salad.
Wagyu?
Can
The
you
first time
salad?
here.
Okay.
I don't
and
remember
what,
when,
and
though.
what do you remember about it?
It's very rich.
It's rich, right?
It's
rich
Like
with
it's like you have a
sauce.
few
For it.
pieces and you're like, all right, I'm good.
Decadent.
For me,
Yeah.
I don't know. You guys put it down though.
Nah, Steve puts it down. Steve,
It depends
you
on the
eat
cut,
more than
though, I guess,
anybody
right?
as far as this shit.
Oh yeah.
Like, cause
I
you
eat
guys
all
brought
that
out
shit.
that crazy like fucking olive oil, whatever
Yes,
shit. that
olive
one time.
Wagyu.
It's all crazy.
So what? I'm just like curious. Like, what do you remember about your first experience of it? Like, what was like your memory of like the first time you tried it? Like, was it like
This is very like you taste expensive. You know what I mean?
like
it
you,
tastes like
you know right away? Like,
like
this is
you're
something?
like it's a higher level of you're just like
Is it like wow? This is next level.
Oh, for sure.
Yeah.
Even if you don't like it, like I liked it, but even if someone eats it and doesn't like it, you definitely taste
Understand it.
that. Yeah, that there's like it's beyond a regular.
One other question for you is:
'Cause I've
you
eaten
tried
some shitty steak,
you
too.
tried it marinated and not marinated, right?
I don't know if I had it marinated. I'm not gonna lie.
Okay.
No,
I'm
I
not
think
sure.
he has.
I feel like he has.
I think I might have. I don't know. I can't remember. My
You
memory
did
is
it a
shot,
lot.
dude. My memory is shot.
And I'll be honest, it was just a little hotter, but we'll work with it.
He's definitely tasted like non-marinated.
Yeah, I think that's the only one I had was the non-marinated.
The fat, the fillets we are very
You guys are crazy out here. The
sparse with
palate, I
those,
gotta
'cause
say,
they're
is
always very
just
small.
like phenomenal. Now you're gonna have to recreate it every time you
With this
film
table,
yourself fucking grilling.
we're gonna
Yeah.
glue it together and pull it into the shop as is.
Is the shop open
We're
right
gonna-
now?
Yeah, Charlie's in there.
Oh, I was gonna say it felt weird parking back here though.
Right?
Feels weird parking back here,
Right.
huh?
I
That's
just rolled up
funny.
because I didn't feel like walking around the whole fucking building, but
Yeah,
No,
Avery?
smart.
yeah, it feels
Um,
definitely weird parking back here.
Yo, so another thing is like, think about how many times
See some-
in like different conditions, different environments, different people, you're out.
20 minutes.
All right.
Just gotta do something quick.
So we just tagged in. This is like a WWF match, which is
Yeah.
another thing we can
Yeah,
talk about.
She
She'll
just
be
was like,
back.
here, take the mic.
Another reason me and
back.
Pat reconnected was we both were like during like the indie rush of the mid
Yeah,
2010s.
we were fucking going to wrestling shows heavy.
We were all into wrestling, going to independent wrestling shows, hitting some fire events with some fire up and coming wrestlers.
Yeah, that's
we
pretty
caught a
crazy,
lot
man.
of we caught a lot of the guys who you see on TV now. In fact, let's talk about this. Before the show started, we just bumped into the FedEx guy. Shout out my guy.
Oh,
Jamie
dude, I remember that guy.
Van
Yeah,
Leader.
yeah.
Whatever, look him up. Jamie Van something. I can't remember right
He
now.
would
but
drop
shout
the
out
flyers
to homie.
off. He would drop the
He was,
flyers off.
he was a FedEx guy. He would drop off stuff, and we just saw him out front. I introduced him to Angela. What he does is like a crazy intermittent fasting show on his Instagram every night, where him and his wife wait all day till midnight, and then they just like binge eat some crazy like home cooked
Really?
frozen food creations. Like,
Sounds delicious.
yeah, it's dope. It's cool content. And he's been doing it for a really long time.
Really?
And yeah, shout out him. We just saw him outside, but like, it's stuff like that. Yo, where's the?
Aluminum foil?
Yeah.
Right behind you. I mean, next to.
You need foil?
But anyway, I bring him up because he used to be a wrestler, and he's still super into wrestling. And like, he was just asking me out front, like, and I'm like, the shit's all trash now. Like, we saw the peak of it. It's over. Like, it's not fun. Fire creative. All creative sucks.
Yeah, it's hard. It's all hard to watch, man.
There was a period where we got back into it, though. It was worth watching then. You know what I mean?
We were going to the shows.
But it was also underground shit. You had to pay for subscriptions online. This wasn't WWE, although WWE was better back then too, if I'm being honest.
Yeah, I mean, we
They had
were in,
NXT
like,
popping.
We were in fucking Latin dance hall clubs.
Little Latin dance hall clubs.
La Boom, bro.
All right, so
that's
now the
awesome.
next step here is you have to let it rest.
Oh, yeah.
Okay, it's all about letting it rest. And while we were cooking that steak, The pork chop was resting, so
We're
this is
waiting for his
ready.
pork chop.
Jesus Christ.
This shit is gonna be delicious. All right,
That
I'm gonna
grill
go
is
over
official
here.
too. I love that grill.
The pork chop is ready.
The pork chop.
Look at that fucking thing, man.
Oh, that's
I'm gonna
like
just
Walmart.
bring this up.
$12 camping thing.
Dude, that's like, because I have a charcoal grill at home that I use, but sometimes when I'm cooking just for me.
It's
Right
kind
there.
of annoying to bring a whole ass fucking charcoal.
All right.
I think it looks glazed. It looks delicious.
Guys out here grilling Wagyu in the all leather fucking Jordan 13s back here. It's
All
some
leather.
fucking
Dirty breads.
legendary shit right there.
Dirty breads.
And these fucking, the sludge over here is beautiful.
Yeah, it's the right amount.
Of sludge.
Yeah, you gotta fucking.
It's the right amount of
Plastic
sludge.
forks fucking only. You heard me.
Only.
Oh, bro, come on.
So,
Plate-
so
paper
the
plates.
taste seeps into the product.
That's how we doing it.
You want to absorb some of that wood from the pallet underneath, you know?
And this is not Damascus steel. I checked.
That looks pretty cooked, right?
So
Maybe a little.
pink. That's pink.
It might need a little. I'm gonna do this.
Give it a shot.
I'll give each shot just a
So-
little sear, and that should do it. Sometimes this is what you got to do, folks. The little
It is
sear.
a thick. Yeah, it is a thick ass cut.
It's thick. The sear is good though. I enjoy
I'm
it.
still-
I enjoy a good
I
sear.
still eat it that way.
Here we go.
In the Meat Farm's like double tier shopping cart too.
yeah.
Those are the superior shopping
They
carts.
are
by
the
way.
superior shopping. This
Like,
is
so
this
not even
screams I'm
close, man.
single. I'm
Unless you're
going
like
home
getting
alone.
like 4 fucking cases of water or some shit. What?
Stay back there
Yeah, I am
while you're
shopping.
talking.
I am
Oh, I gotta be
shopping
on-
for.
You have to understand when you're in a parking lot.
Yeah, I'm not used to
You
being
know
on
what I
camera.
mean?
You know what I mean?
See how quick that shit cooked?
Yeah, it's just the quickest sear in the world. That's it. That needs a little more.
Of course.
Finished,
course.
What, another
I
beer?
just figured there would be, some fucking crazy ass beers in there too.
Of course.
Of course. See, aluminum.
By the way,
You still doing
if
that?
you're finished,
you
pour
still
it.
up with the glasses and everything?
Yeah,
Still
you
going?
know,
Good, man.
just
Awesome.
making some fire glasses.
What are you feeling?
What is it? What is this right here? Pokemon? I
You gotta do-
Is this
that's the
yours?
newest drop.
Is this
The
yours?
Pokemon.
Yes, yeah.
figured.
Well, Beaton brought it. It's
Yeah, I
I
his.
still have
That shit is
bro, I
fucking
still have the Final Fantasy
beautiful.
7 one you got me on my fucking like bookshelf.
Yes, sir.
Next to all my it's like 99% Mets paraphernalia and then glass.
9% mass paraphernalia.
A lot of
Like,
people have
paraphernalia, you
something like that.
stole
It's
it?
funny. So pick whichever one you want. I would say the Ghost, the Paris Ghost.
I don't know
That's
shit
a
about folk
variant
when it
of
comes to
Ghost
this
in the
stuff.
Machine, which we've talked about in the spot as well. One of the best beers of all time. Angelo is definitely one of his favorites, right? Yeah.
I drink
Beautiful beer.
It's a great
shitty
beer.
fucking beer.
I'm gonna finish the rest of that
You know
right
what I
now. I
drink?
just want to finish this sear.
Miller High Life, boys.
Miller High
Hell
Life.
yeah.
This
some
dude
fucking
lives the
piss
high life.
water. It's nothing better than 7 Miller High Lives.
You want some?
Try it. I mean,
The
I don't know, sure.
champagne of beer.
Hell yeah. Or you know what I had recently? I had a couple Michelob Ultras. Tasted terrible, but you know what? I was
That's
able to
like
drink like
that's
4
like
of them.
what guys who golf on the weekends because they have no real hobbies, but they aren't golfers
Yeah.
drink.
That's not a bad way to describe it.
He just hit it on the noggin.
What do you think?
Beats
I
us.
think we're good here, right?
Yeah, pull it off. We could always cut those in half now too.
Yeah, let's check that.
It's crazy.
It looks like it's
There is a
like-
lot of fat. You have to
Such an
understand.
elevation from previous.
I don't want
Wagyu
the fat to
Wednesdays
be
and Meat
undercooked. That's a big
Mondays.
part of it.
This is what?
It's definitely an elevation from previous.
Oh yeah, we're usually much lower. We're always on the ground. That's what we were talking about today. Today was beautiful because we don't have to go so fucking low.
Dude, this is fucking.
Go in and eat it.
Put a sign at the corner of the parking lot.
Here, I'm gonna give it one more sear. on
Wagyu off the
Well-
pallet back here. And start selling fucking meats.
I'm sure people will line up to buy
I'm
these
gonna throw
meats.
one more sear.
I'm surprised you don't got the fucking Uggs on.
I was gonna. It was just too warm. Those
No, they're
get
warm like
very
that?
warm.
What about
very
that?
warm.
What the shoe I sent
I'll
you?
put that shit
You like
here.
that?
You gotta remind me. You sent
Recently,
me
it
a
was
lot
like
of shoes.
it was the Salihi. The
Oh yeah, those
Salehi,
are
however you
sick.
say his name.
It's just that those are a
think
little
it's
too
Salehi.
much. The color scheme.
Yo, speaking of color schemes, the way I met Pat,
All those stuffs are crazy.
the
What?
first time I met
Yeah.
Pat at East West, I was talking to
Wouldn't they have
Tosh. I might have been talking to Tosh. He was working there,
You
right?
working there at that point?
So I think I was talking to Tosh about these Spizikes I wanted. I was like, I want these
Holy
cool
shit.
gray Spizikes, but they're sold out everywhere, blah, blah, blah. You overheard me. You're like, click, 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 click. You're like, you mean these right here? He's like, I got a code on Nike. My
Oh,
boy
yeah,
works
when I
for
worked
Nike.
for Nike, man.
He goes,
I
I
worked
could
there
get
too.
him. I could get him to you for like 120. I'm like, bro, they're like $180. He's like, you could get him shipped to your door right now for $125. I was like, I'll give you 150 cash right now if you order them to my door.
Yeah, I
He
remember that.
ordered them right there for me.
Wow.
That's how I met Pat.
Swoosh, man. Nike employees of Nike get a lot of good benefits, dude. Even if you're just like working in the retail store. You
No,
know,
no
and,
doubt
like,
about it.
far the food chain far, but you still, get a lot of good benefits.
Do you guys get access to the drops like better?
Well, see, the thing is, when I worked there was a long time ago.
Before the
So it
drops
was
were even a
before
thing.
like the sneakers app and stuff like that. So like when I worked there at Nike Bellport, it was when the Jordan countdown packs were coming out.
Oh, those were
Remember
very
those?
sought after too.
It was
Yeah.
it was basically they were coming out with 2 Jordans in the pack, and the number of the Jordans equaled 23. So like the 20 and the 3, the 19 and the 4, and they would do
All right.
a lot of them. They did a lot of popular colorways, and we were getting those at like 30-40% off. Same thing with the South Beach LeBrons, like the first ever LeBron that was really like hyped.
Oh, I remember those. Yeah. The 9s.
Those were like
or the 8s
those
or the
were
7s. I don't remember.
$110 on
They were
the employee store, and they go for like $7. I don't even know how much they go for now.
Forget about
But
it.
they go for a lot of
Hard
money
to even
now.
find dead stock probably at this point. Oh boy,
Not the parchment paper.
we got shit down.
Oh, you got the Ace of Clubs down here, yo. Race Rock Lighthouse, Ace of Clubs. Yo,
All
this
right.
is pretty hilarious because I'm meeting my cousin at MSG tonight, and he has a gift for me, which is he bought me a trading card because he works for PSA. He's
Oh
into
no way, he
card
works for
game.
PSA.
Yeah. So he bought me an Action Bronson card from when he was
No way.
They made a card when he was in AEW, like when he had that.
That's
match.
actually funny. You, me, and Steve went to that Action Bronson show at Coney Island.
Hell yeah,
That was fire.
that was a great show,
went
man.
to-
Great time that night.
Yeah. So
Shout out Action Bronson.
so I'm picking the card up from him, but he got it slabbed, and it ended up being a 10.
Oh wow.
So I'm
Wow,
getting
nice.
it tonight, and I'm
Fuck yeah. For those of you who don't know, PSA is a company that grades trading cards, and if you get a 10, it's worth a lot more money.
I forget we're like being filmed.
Nah, it's
I'm
good.
mic'd up, I
Nah,
forget.
it's good. Because I'm into cards and shit. You know that. I'm into
I'm not
collectibles
really,
in general.
It's
Always have
a
been.
lot. So I know Steve, you have a lot of Pokemon cards and stuff like that. And
Yep. I was hoping to have an in with the PSA
nah, he's
grade.
he's a fucking guy.
this guy fucking.
Now it's on
fucking-
camera, so he'll see that you're fucking.
He
oh,
takes the
I'm gonna see
cards
him
and he
tonight.
bends them, so he's the only one that
He
gets
bends.
perfect.
Yo, so speaking of the
Real
Knicks,
quickly.
so what the fuck, man? We can't catch a break. Like, everybody's hurt. Hopefully everybody's like healthy in time for the playoffs. Hopefully we make a good spot in the playoffs.
Don't they
Yeah, I
just
know
never
you
win?
want that like 2 or 3 seed. I know, but
I
still,
think we're good,
We're
right?
good.
You know, it's
That looks pretty damn good.
you can't do
try
shit
it
about
out.
Get some
injuries,
plates.
man. Damn, it does look.
Paper
We got
plates and some
over
forks.
there, forks.
Can't do anything about injuries. It just sucks.
There's only
Seems like they have
Also, let's
more
check
hype.
that steak. I'll pass this down. You guys can start
there's forks
cracking
here.
into that. And pass me the steak, please.
Yes,
Have you
sir.
gone? Have you
Here we
been?
go.
When was the last time you went to a game?
Uh,
What about the
Yo,
Rangers?
guys,
man?
come
Oh,
here.
like,
stay on this side.
the Rangers are
Yep.
even more of a wagon this year, dude. I don't know if you've been keeping up with them.
Yeah, I have. And that
Oh,
kid Rimpe,
Dude, I know.
he's fighting everybody.
Scoring
His first
goal.
game was a Winter Classic.
This is different.
Scrapping.
He was scrapping every game. He's been scrapping
I
every
just
game.
love how they ask him before the game. Like, they skate up to him, like, yo, you want to fight?
Oh yeah, and he's like, yeah, I'll go.
Huh.
He loves it. Yeah, yo, honestly, kid's got heart. He scored a goal, ugly goal. He's fighting. He's staying tough. He's a young kid. He's getting tested by some of the toughest guys in the league. Shout out Rempe, bro. And shout out the Rangers. They've been playing hard, scraping out games,
Yeah, I'm trying to go.
keeping their numbers up.
Tell the Garden to lower their fucking ticket prices.
Bro,
Absurd.
Yeah,
Got to use my tax
I'm
return to go see the fucking Rangers play.
cutting here though. I gotta make
Alright.
sure.
no.
I think we are money,
Oh, shit.
dude.
Ah,
not good.
seriously?
What do you mean, fucking seriously?
All right, we only lost a couple. We good. We good.
Well, that's all good. I'll eat it off the fucking pavement.
No, we're good.
We lost the fork, though.
That's all good.
It's in the swamp.
I'm cutting this shit
Uncle
up.
Brewski.
We ain't get the fork in that swamp.
Steve, come on the other side of me.
Yep, sorry. Oh, man, I don't know how to get this meat without fucking up the sunlight.
No, hold on.
Hold on.
Just put some on a plate,
I
bro.
got it.
Yeah, that's crazy.
And then I'm going to turn around.
I'm not even a big, like, that's pork, right? Yeah, I'm not really a big, like,
Yeah,
pork
Angelo,
chop
get
guy.
in here.
Oh, yeah.
This is for her, definitely.
Good old meat farms, bro.
Get a plate.
Stinted fucking meat farms. Long Island.
Put my meat out
It's either
here.
there or Uncle Giuseppe's. That's like some real Long Island grocer type shit. I love Uncle Giuseppe's.
Are there
Shout
Uncle
out
Giuseppe's outside of New York State?
Yo, guys, get a plate.
Uncle
Pop up with a
Giuseppe's.
plate.
Don't go around the house.
Oh, yeah. Shout out to James, the pasta man. And
Hop
Uncle
through with a plate.
Giuseppe's.
Everybody grab a plate. Plate.
Plate.
But But yeah, that's the best. Even their prepared meals are fucking fire.
Angelo, let's see your reaction on camera. I don't want to fucking know this pussyfooting around it.
Oh, you
the
tried the
marinade? What'd
steak
you do
already?
here?
This is crazy. The steak is insane.
What's the
The
What's the
marinade,
marinade?
I
Yeah.
gave all my secrets away in this episode. You're welcome. I'm not fucking gonna Chef Boyardee it.
I gotta watch to figure it out. You already went through it. That's what you're supposed to say, right?
Oh yeah, at the end of the video, we'll put the recipe up.
Oh, it's definitely better marinated.
Yes.
Am I right?
Fillets,
Yeah.
definitely.
What do you think, Len?
The fillets
Better marinated?
insane.
It's like most things in life are better marinated.
Yes and no.
Even though we had the whole like steak sandwich set up last time.
Yeah, we did katsu sandwiches.
We
For
have
those
some
of you who
milk
don't
bread
know, look up
inside.
katsu sandwiches, Katsu, katsu sandwiches. That's what we made last time. We'll do that in a future episode for sure. Oh man, nah,
This is definitely better than anything at
Perfect.
the garden
These
tonight.
citrus ones.
yep.
Besides maybe the popcorn. MSG popcorn.
Yo.
That's stuff of legend.
Give me a fork.
Or use mine.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So what you were saying about
I'm
the
gonna
Knicks
eat it
before we
anyway.
didn't finish that up, the injuries, yeah, man. It sucks, but there's still a decent amount of time left. I don't know if they're going
God
to get
damn,
that 2
look
or
at
3
that
seed,
cut.
but
Holy shit.
you know, it's nice to make the playoffs in back-to-back years as a Knicks fan. Just take that with
It's
what
just
we've
a
lived
cut.
through. This guy's locked in the meat zone. You didn't hear a word I said.
Nope, not a word.
I'm in the middle of fucking cutting a
it's
fucking
like-
Yeah, on this
on
little,
on a balancing board. I'm on a surfboard on a waterbed on a fucking tire rack with a fucking 2x4 holding up a fucking tire iron to
This
cut
one
at this
has
thing
more.
on.
You might be the first person in the world to cook Wagyu steak on a pallet or in a meat farm.
Hold on, let me
shopping
try
cart
this fucking pork.
next
too,
to a
bro.
pallet,
Fuck.
next to the dumpster.
You haven't had any of that?
No.
Bro, that pork, wow, this
Wow.
shit is delicious. Holy crap.
Yeah, like I said, I don't even fuck with pork chops like that. That is very good.
Wow. This orange fed
Usually they're
shit,
very
holy
dry.
crap.
By the way, I gotta say, I think the marinade worked really good on the pork chop.
It did.
It goes with it.
That'll be a good
Wow.
skirt steak marinade too.
What'd you say?
That'll be a good skirt.
Oh
steak.
yeah, 100%. I got liquid gold left.
This Wagyu,
Yeah, here you go, Angelo. Yeah.
Angelo eat.
Liquid gold, like
Liquid gold. You gotta fucking get that in a
Oh my god.
a bottle, Tone. Gotta put that shit in a bottle with a label on
Wagyu
it.
Monday,
get that
bro.
in
It's just
stores.
another Wagyu Monday,
No,
bro.
I mean that and get that in stores, bro. Tone's liquid gold.
Nah, but one day we're gonna have a pop up or something.
You should. People know when you're cooking steaks
We're gonna
out
cook
here.
some
what it's-
stupid fucking
what
steaks
it's
and have a
gonna be like.
gang come out.
Not even that. Not even Wagyu, bro. When you would pull up with just the skewers.
Oh, you remember that?
Yeah, that was crazy. What was that? Was it filet or like sirloin? I don't even remember.
I used to always pull up to barbecues with marinated filet mignon tips.
Oh yeah, that's what it was. The tips. Those are fucking delicious too. And that's not even Wagyu. That's just. I mean, filet.
Yeah, that
is
was just
higher
prime
end
steak in my marinade.
That was delicious. That's like
You have to understand, I truly believe my marinade is a perfect steak marinade. It brings out
very good.
all the flavor that you
It
want.
is very good.
Unreal. I never switched over my beer though.
Yes,
I've been busy,
I've noticed. Here.
as you can see.
You gotta split this with the young Patrick. Yo, yeah, anybody else want some Wagyu? There's a couple more pieces left.
We gotta say something for Brie.
Yep. All right.
I'm cuvee. I just decided I'm gonna cuvee.
Where's the cuvee?
What we got here?
Please
Flavor
explain
God?
that to me.
So
I don't
we've
have
done
any of this- I don't
cuvées
have
over
any
here
of this
every
guy's
Wagyu
stuff.
Monday. Not every, but a lot. Cuvée is when you mix two beers together.
Oh, I remember that. Yeah.
That's a thing.
Yeah.
Right, you haven't smoked yet. Do you want a whole jar of Baby Jeters?
Well, you know me.
Actually, I am gonna buy pre-rolls today before.
you know me. I like mixing a couple different things in a joint, mixing a couple different types of
Nice
beer
and
together.
Yeah.
You get whole new flavor profiles and stuff like that
You
when you start
appreciate
mixing and
diversity,
matching.
you know.
You know what I mean?
Flavor God.
So
I've
This
never
was
had anything
interesting.
from this brand, but I see it all the time.
real talk, Lenny. Third time. Best one?
Yeah.
Definitely, right?
Yep, absolutely.
Yeah.
The cook, the char, the pork too. Great,
The pork was fire, right?
great little
Pork was
suction.
And
on it.
the pork is different because like no other pork has that flavor to it. Pork. This also doesn't get nearly as dry as regular pork.
No.
This was
Regular pork dries out no matter how good you cook it to some degree. This stays with moisture.
This was a harmless
fat
trip
helps.
to the dentist. And now I came to drop off a skateboard to Steve. He was like, "Oh, we're cooking
yeah,
later,"
that's
and then
too
I hit the jackpot today.
Bro,
so
but that's
I
how
appreciate the
that's
brothers,
how,
man. It's
That's
good
how it
shit.
always works. That's how it always works. Whoever asks Dave, how many people pop by? Ask Pat how many times he popped by when he wasn't working, just like popping by. He knows it's Monday. You know what I'm saying? Our close friends and family are all like, "Oh, it's Monday." Expect these guys to be posted on the fucking
It's
Instagram
so
again.
funny.
I was driving in the rain, thinking today was going to be a
Oh
miserable
no,
day.
what
but
do?
Oh no!
It's two,
This is
no look, 2 pieces here, one
this
here.
this is the unfortunate. This is the unfortunate tales of the Wagyu Monday. It won't be the first or the last time that happens.
It's a wind tunnel back here. That's why.
I don't want to even put the.
I'm gonna save this for Bree. I'm gonna take
Yeah,
this.
save that for
inside.
Bree. Yeah, put that on the bottom.
Actually,
You
no,
need some-
keep these separate.
No, put it together.
You think so?
Yeah, save it for her.
As we were like,
gonna put
oh, it's
nucleus over
fucking perfect.
Yeah, there you go.
out."
Put this on the bottom though for structure.
We're outside today. The sun
top of
is
that.
actually
Right.
shining.
And it's still like, was it high 40s today? I think.
Yeah, we were just talking about
Feels
it.
like
Listen, it's not
60.
the nicest day, but it's also not.
It's a New York
It's,
nice
it's
day.
still nice for the time.
New York
It's been
nice
cold.
day. Been watching the Mets spring training games, and it's like it's probably like high 50s, low 60s there, and everyone's in like coats and shit.
You know, everybody I talk to right now is kind of like in a funk. Everybody's been sick. Everybody's been stuck in the house. Everybody's been sick and tired of the cold. Not you, 'cause you haven't been here.
Yeah,
But
fuck that.
the rest of us who fucking have to live here all year round, we enjoy the winter until we don't. It's
Until-
like, okay,
Until
you
you,
know
want to
what?
open the windows and you need some ventilation.
Yeah, and it's like, no, it's like you're stir crazy. It's like, I'm done staying inside and missing shit and not going out because it's too cold. I'm trying to go out, enjoy some nice weather, have a Wagyu fucking Monday in the fucking beautiful fucking, you know what I mean? Crisp wind.
No matter what the wind is like, we don't care.
Yeah, so Pat, I'm glad that you also agree with the marinade because I'm sure you have had it, but now you've refreshed your memory.
Yeah.
And
No, it's very
you
good.
know what it is? I like showing people you could cook steak a little more than you think. You could marinate a steak even though it's high end. It's about how you do it.
Yeah.
Everything's about how you do it. How you fucking do anything, right? You know what I mean? Everybody becomes like some kind of a artisan or a craftsman of whatever they're doing with any of this stuff. And it's just like, we've done a lot of R&D. You know what I
It's
mean?
a perfect way to
we
describe
found out
it. You have done a lot of R&D. That's
we
definitely a
found
true
out what
statement.
works, and not just for us, for like everybody. This is what I want to do is like always like see like what other people think and try to improve on it. You know what I'm saying? Like, not for nothing.
I have no advice for that one. That's
Yeah.
if you keep making that same one, that's
Shit, bro.
good enough for me.
And I'll be honest, my favorite thing, if like somebody was like, what should I get? I'd be like, listen, any A5 BMS 12 cut of Wagyu filet mignon, marinated in a similar recipe to what I'm showing you guys, and put that shit on some Japanese milk bread and tell me that shit is not the best bite of food you ever had in your life. Just try, you know what I mean? Because it's gonna be up there in your memory.
we had that here, I think.
Yeah, 100%.
I did mean,
yeah,
I
yeah,
know
we've
you
done
guys
katsu
did. I know
samis
I
many
was here,
times,
I think,
and we've done it
we
fried
did.
and not fried. So a katsu sami is basically, you bread the steak, you know, batter the steak, and then you fry it, deep fried in like a cast iron pan, and then you put it on Japanese milk bread, and it's a sandwich. What I like to do is I do my marinade, and I put it on the sandwich, but I cut it up like a steak sandwich, right? And I make like little ones, like bite-sized little. Everybody gets a little hand-sized jammy, like a nice little taste of it.
Hors d'oeuvre.
Yeah. Pretty much like a large appetizer each. You know what I mean? That everybody gets to just really test the flavor of it.
I can't talk about hors d'oeuvres or think about hors d'oeuvres at weddings now without thinking about me and you at
So
the
we were at our
toast
boy's wedding, and we were bored. We were like cocktail hour. It was just me and him. Like everybody kind of knows each other. It's like me and him from the smoke shop, and we were hanging out, just like shooting the bullshit. And finally, we start seeing the girls come out with the trays, with like the little hors d'oeuvres, and I'm like, oh shit. And Pat's like, oh shit. And we start scoping it out. Me and him are like stalking this one lady who had like a good tray. We finally like get over to her. We're like, hey, like, you think we can get a few of those? She's like, oh yeah, sure. And we're like, keep them coming. You know what I mean?
It was meatballs.
It was those meatballs.
Meatballs on
just-
like a fucking toothpick.
Well, anyway, she just kept on coming back to us. We were
I
standing
think
by
we
the
also
bar.
moved near the bar by the door, so we could just look into the door.
Yeah, that's
where
true. She was coming out, seeing us, coming right over.
Meatballs.
We were trying everything. It was great.
Yeah, that was
we
good shit.
we had that was the best hors d'oeuvre hour, for
That was
sure.
great.
True
We
fat boy
locked
shit
that.
right
Yeah,
there.
yeah,
I
nah.
appreciate that, man. That's
Definitely,
good
it was
stuff.
dope. It was dope. Hey, what's happening, man? Sorry.
What is this?
Yeah, that's what we used to pick up this thing.
Oh, okay. Oh, great.
Yeah.
I got you.
Yeah, I mean, and that's the thing about it too, is like everybody who has never tried this, at some point, like this is an experience you remember forever. It's like one of those culinary experiences where it's like changes now your perspective of steak.
I would have never tried it.
Because now it's like every time you have a steak for the rest of your life, you have to compare it against what we've done. That's
sick,
tough.
It's a nice
And it's a double-edged sword because as much as I love steak, now it's like I can't really enjoy steak unless I'm doing it like this. Yeah.
All right.
I mean, I can. Don't get me wrong. Don't get me
You
wrong.
just gotta temper your expectations a little bit, you know.
It's hard.
I get you.
And because no matter what, I still have to draw the comparison to it no matter what.
And
That's the hardest part for me.
Something similar in a restaurant setting is probably crazy, stupid money.
Well,
I know that's crazy.
that
stupid
cut
money to get
would probably
by itself.
would go for definitely over $500
Yeah.
most likely because most people are selling that cut for about $250.
Yeah.
Wholesale,
You gotta-
you're talking
you gotta
$150
make your money on it.
like wholesale.
I get it. That's why it's just on the fucking pallet, on the tires, in the shopping cart.
You have
It's
to
a
understand, this
way
is
to
not
do it.
something that you
Next to the
buy one of
dumpster.
these. You're not buying one
That's
of
the
these
extra
for
sazon from the dumpster right here, man.
for real. But you're not buying one of these to just like slam to your head on a Monday for lunch. You're buying one of these to like cut up a 6-ounce filet mignon and have however many people try it, and we're all like, yo,
Although
feel good. That was a few pieces. I'm feeling pretty good. That was
Mind
fire.
blown.
it's got to feel pretty luxurious to just cook one of those fucking by yourself and just face one of those.
Can I tell you
things.
something though? I wouldn't.
Nah.
I'm halfway through, I'd look at myself and be like, I feel disgusting.
You got to wear either with
It's
like a
that-
cape over your head because of shame. Like
The first
Orlan
thing you
bird.
said was, I'm gonna circle back full circle. First thing you said was like, oh, it's so rich, and
The
that's
first
why.
time I had it. Yeah.
No, but
sure.
anytime.
No, you're right. Yeah.
It's not something you want to overindulge on.
Yeah.
This is something that you'll regret overindulging
Yeah.
on.
You're not gonna have a 32-ounce fucking
No,
by yourself.
no. This is and every year, shout out to homie Joe. I wish he was here. We do a giant like steak fest at his crib. He throws like
yeah. I remember.
like 14, 15 of us all get together. We all bring some Wagyu and we just have like a crazy.
Is that when you use the what's that fucking oven?
Yeah, we use the Otto.
The Otto. Yeah.
Yeah, shout out my boy Vin. Vin definitely is really with the steak shit. He's got a huge blog. I can't remember the name. Maybe I'll have Angela put it in the description or whatever, or you could hit me up privately. I'll tell you who he is. He's got a great steak blog, and a bunch of other guys who just like are into this shit and into like cooking and stuff like that, and try different types of Wagyu and stuff like that. We all get together and we just like try a bunch of new shit. We'll try different methods. We'll try doing this, doing that, everything. Any way you can imagine it. Sous vide, reverse sears, the auto grills, the charcoal grills like we do, direct heat on
Cast iron.
on the chimney, direct, on a gas grill.
What about on the coal? You ever see that shit?
What'd you say?
On the coals? I've seen like videos.
Yeah,
where
I've
they just
seen
throw
that.
on there.
I have not done that. I don't like the idea of that
It's
personally.
weird to me too.
That's too much for me personally. But what I would like to try one day is, have you ever seen The Rock?
Yeah, of course.
I want to do The Rock.
The stone.
Almost?
The stone.
Yeah, the stone.
And basically I would cut like real nice thin pieces of the fillet and just like sear them on the stone. I feel like that would be fire.
Yeah.
I like to
Almost
try
like
that.
a Korean barbecue experience where it's sliced, kind of. and
Yeah,
you kind of
I'd like to try that. You know what I'm saying?
Go
And,
to
this is-
H-Mart. H-Mart sells fucking like, I know it's probably not the same quality as like from the purveyors.
Of
but-
course not.
Of course, but they sell
You
at
can
least
get-
an accessible version.
You could get accessible
Yeah.
Wagyu at Costco. Costco has great
Oh,
deals.
that's true. Yeah,
on
I've seen it there
basic
before.
on basic like A5. It will be A5. It's a low grade. It's not the highest grade, but you could get some decent. If you cook it the right way and you know what you're doing, you could get
I'm taking a dab.
a different good experience. But again, most of the time it's ribeyes, which are the least coveted by the people who really know,
true.
because
wanna
unfortunately,
work
like I
till late
said,
tomorrow
it's just
either.
too much
Fuck.
fat. I mean, you've tried a ribeye, right?
I think that's what I tried first.
And it's too much. It's like
Yeah,
you
it is
take
a
one
little too
bite
much,
and you're like,
yeah.
this is like
It's
a
a little
lot.
too much. It is a
Yeah,
little too
it
much.
tastes like butter.
Yeah.
To be
true.
quite honest with you, it tastes less like meat and more like butter. You're eating like clarified fucking butter.
Yeah, it was a little too much.
That's why I think in the middle, if you are a regular ribeye guy, the strip steak is probably the best bet for you, because it still has enough meat where it's about 40 to 50% meat.
Yeah.
And it's not 80 or 90% fat. It's like 40% fat, 50% fat, 60% fat, depending on the cut. And it's more palatable. You get more umami and less butter. It's a nice in between.
I'm usually a strip. Like if I'm getting a steak out of
strip?
a restaurant, I usually get a strip because, Like ribeyes, you never know. Like they're usually good. And I love the cap.
Oh, the rib cap is my
mean,
favorite
come on.
part. Yeah.
But sometimes you get a shitty ribeye.
It's
and
all
it's too
fat.
much fat, and the strip
Uncooked.
is harder for But
Yeah, I
huge,
agree.
Like, or skirt steak, but that's like it's got to be marinated, and you never know if a place has a good marinade or not. So
Of course.
I had a good skirt steak recently, actually.
And there he is.
Got
Well,
caught up once I walked.
Let's burn a celebratory slammer to end it.
Yeah. Do we have another Jerry rolled? Or?
I don't think we do, but let's take a dab at least.
All right.
Jesus, what do you got? Fucking Jeffrey over there?
I did. We smoked it already though.
I might actually have to.
I didn't roll one of them, but
That might be my
If
answer.
you want to go
We'll have an
inside and
after
go
party.
grab those, and then just grab another one of these. I'm too tired to roll one right now. We're too stoned.
I'll roll one on the after credits. But let's land him a dab. Get a little sour going.
Do
or something.
you want one? You want one?
Oh, we'll do a dab.
Do you want to go get one or no?
I want to see you dab.
Talk a little terps here because you and me obviously
This is Sublime Sour.
Sublime
haven't
sour.
tried
We
this
didn't
one
look
yet.
up the cross, but it was
Good on
Aki,
you.
and we were like, all right, yeah, we'll go with that.
These are still fresh pressed. Like they
I know
haven't
this shit is
nucleated
like
yet.
barely even nucleated.
Jesus, it's gonna be a glob.
Do you dab, Lenny?
Not like professionally, but how I go in.
Professionally. I gotta clean this up.
I'm not.
I've only seen you with hash holes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I admit, when people pass me to him, I have a rig at home.
He always
just in
has a
case.
hash hole.
Yeah.
Every time I see him smoking, he's smoking a hash hole.
What the fuck is that?
Like a joint with
Go
rosin
over
in
the
it.
Oh, okay. I'm like, I thought it was like a place or something.
Hash holes and hash holes.
It is in place at the end of the night.
Should
when your
be in
head's
place.
banging. Yeah. it's
Hash holes
definitely
have kind
in
of
place.
taken over the whole thing.
Is that
Like
a
everybody
K-hole,
loves
like
the
a
hash
K-hole,
holes.
hash hole?
But you
So
were
it's
doing
just
a
in
lot
the
of those
joint?
snow caps. Those are big for a time, and now I feel like it's the hash holes.
Yeah, the hash holes are huge.
I
right
usually just use a regular Vibes cone and I pack that. The
True.
1 grammer. That's like
True.
really what I smoke. The hash holes are just
I
you know,
use
more
raw black.
celebratory.
I like the raw black papers.
I've always
It's
loved
a $60,
bamboos.
$70 joint.
Yeah, but you still use them?
Oh yeah, I love bamboos.
I know a lot of people use Element.
Okay.
Elements.
Element's a good one,
Yeah.
especially for like
And for a
production.
bigger roll too.
For production, those are good.
Yeah, you know, I like to keep it simple. I roll
This thing dead.
regular little fucking joints that is perfect just for me. I mostly
Yeah,
smoke
yo,
joints
this
by
thing's
myself.
dead.
That's dead?
Fucking.
Well, that's the story of my life, you know? Story of my life. The Truman Show continues, you know?
God
Imagine
damn
knowing
it.
nothing about charging a peak. Imagine knowing nothing about having nothing rolled. Imagine knowing nothing about Bree
Yeah, can you go
disappearing
get that now?
mid-episode.
Can you go get that?
Yeah, you want another one of these?
Yeah.
Whoa, look
Oh,
at this.
imagine knowing nothing about
Look
being
at
prepared.
this.
It was
You
still gonna
need one,
take a.
Steve?
Still go grab it because it's gonna take a few minutes for it to like.
Imagine knowing nothing about having
How
a
hot
power
is this
bank.
mic? You guys gonna hear me all the way over there?
Yeah, so go in the bathroom and really give it hell.
Yeah. Guy's gonna fucking drain the dragon.
He starts speaking Yiddish when he gets in there too.
Speaking Yiddish.
It
I can't
gets
speak
violent.
Yiddish. He's some big ass
Sour
fucking seagulls
diesel.
over here.
I don't know. For me,
Tell you that.
it's just
It was too bland.
no. I like
You-
the
did you get
original.
the diesel
I like
notes?
the original sour.
Okay. I haven't tried the sour sublime yet. I'm like
Yeah,
looking
try
forward
it.
to that. I was just getting it ready and then shit died.
It's all right.
Um,
So fucking overall thoughts on today's.
the filet was
Quagmire.
phenomenal.
It was right.
The filet stole the show, but then again, the pork did not disappoint
No.
one bit. Like that shit was great. The crusting on it was also too.
It was perfect. It was almost. It had like
And
that.
having this little after sear thing was fucking great too. Just to add a little.
I think a lot of times we've had to do that, and it never. It doesn't change the quality of how it's actually better that way.
Yeah.
To slow cook it like that. So like take that as a lesson too. When you're cooking these, they cook real quick when they're that close to the flame. It's always better to cut it and check. You could always sear that one more side of it and
Correct.
continue to cut it, flip it again, and then it will be nice and even. That's the key is keeping it all even and not overcooking it, but cooking it to a point where it's right. So that's
Can you cook pork like? You don't really cook pork raw, right? Rare, no.
no, you
you
definitely don't want to eat pork
You
raw.
have to
Definitely
cook
not.
that shit straight through.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
It's like
I
chicken.
think that has one of the highest temperatures you got to cook to. if I'm
Really,
not
even higher
mistaken.
than chicken.
I think so.
Hmm.
It's close. It's one of them. They're around the
White
same.
meat? Is that
Yeah,
a
yeah,
white
that's
meat thing?
why. Yeah,
Huh.
yeah, like a boneless pork chop is like no fat. That I gotta say though, that really did have amazing flavor, and I think for me personally, I think that the marinade was kicking. It was definitely it's different than this one. It had more spice to it. had like that more thyme and more a little kick, like a chili or something like that. You can see the chili flakes in it if you look.
Yeah.
And I don't know, it just gave it a good. It was a nice little flavor for it.
I like the
definitely
lemon. The
enjoyed it.
lemon definitely brings out some little zest to it. So what's the deal with pork chops and applesauce?
That's a big thing.
It
Growing
is,
up, my
right?
mom definitely put me on the
Yeah.
pork chops and applesauce.
Mine
Why?
too.
Because
Yeah.
regular pork chops are just so dry. You need to put applesauce.
I think so.
like,
Yeah, I think so.
It's like the gravy that goes on turkey.
Yeah, pretty much for a kid. Yeah, it's like a kid. It's a way to get the kid to eat it. I think.
Because turkey now I feel like is even more moist. Because when I was younger, I remember chewing this shit for hours.
Well, you know what it
Sometimes
is.
so
These things
damn
is all
dry.
fattened up now in these farms, so
Yeah,
they do.
true
They
enough.
have higher fat level than probably
What
they
we
used to.
remember, yeah.
Yeah.
The
talking
chicken
about
Got
all
more
that
stuff.
plastic in them or something.
Everything. Listen, everything's about production, right? You fatten them
enough.
up. They're more weight. It's bigger chicken. You make more money. That's the whole name of
Chicken's
the game.
definitely. You can see the breasts are bigger. Yeah.
I mean, look at the price differences in these steaks. Not for nothing. We fucking the 6 ounce to the 12 ounce is probably like
Yes.
it's another $80,
Yep.
$90 for that steak. You know what I mean? Every
Easily so.
ounce is probably $20, $30. I'd
that
say.
was what, a 6 ounce cut or an 8 ounce? I forget. Did
That
you
was a
check little
6.
bit? That was a
That was a
6
6 ounce. And we
that
normally get
was-
the 8. They were sold out of the 8s.
Yeah, that was
Yeah.
still a few hundred. That was something new we wanted to try because that was
We
the-
just wanted to try the.
that was the umi. We never had it.
It was the Omi. It was the first time we tried it.
orange fed umi.
There he is.
They fed that shit
with
with more
the
citrus. than they did
celebratory ending of the fucking show
of the
and
of
day
the
and Wagyu
Jones.
Monday.
Wagyu Monday.
We had another fucking good run. Hopefully, other than us being discombobulated, fucking.
behind the dumpster.
You know, you have to understand. This is what we do, though. Is we just hang out, bullshit, fucking smoke another J, have another beer, cook another steak. That's
This
what we
is
do.
Monday.
You know,
How
that
was
is
your
Monday.
Monday?
That's what we do. So we're just showing you a little insight, trying to teach you a little bit about what it is we're eating, why we eat it, and how we do it, and just give you a little, behind the scenes BTS on the Wagyu Mondays and why. People always ask me, like, what are these steaks you're cooking? I see it on the Instagram. What the fuck
We
is
learned
that?
just as much as you guys
Well,
do.
now you know. Imagine knowing nothing about Wagyu.
If you're ever driving down the block, you see some smoke in the parking lot. You know where we're
It's not a
at.
fire.
Yeah, that's a fact. It's
It's not a
coming off
fire.
the chimney and everything else.
Unless I accidentally leave the grill burning in the electrical room over there.
No, you left
Holy
the, not even
shit.
burning. You left the propane on.
Oh, the propane on, yeah. But we
To
don't
the
have
point where
we
this
don't have
whole
some of that
parking
on
lot-
camera.
First off, that was 9 years ago, so it's past statute of limitations.
Dude, that was funny. Everybody's walking into fucking meat farms. Yo, it smells like propane in here. Like, this place is gonna blow up. Propane it
I was out
travels
here
to
that
the
day,
lightest
for the
area,
record.
and that's the highest area in this place. So, like, all the way here, that's the electrical room. So, travel from this room.
The grill stash room.
You have to understand
The
amount
moral of the
stories-
story is
Don't leave your propane
cook
on.
with charcoal.
Yeah, it's true. We do mostly do charcoal. 99% of the time.
Yes.
We don't even use this. We use directly on the.
on the
chimney.
starter, yeah.
I bought one of those from seeing you guys use it here.
Yeah.
I have that shit at home.
And
I
that's
mean,
how you
I,
cook.
I was
No,
using it for when I
pour
was
it into
smoking.
my.
Oh,
I have
gotcha,
like a
gotcha.
14-inch.
I was using it when I was into like smoking ribs and shit like that, pork butt. I know Angelo was into that for a while too. And obviously you need
Oh, yeah,
that because
right.
you got to keep the coals going to keep the fire going. And then like one day I was just like, yo, direct heat's the best. What if I just put a grate on top of that motherfucker? And it's the perfect for a tenderloin, a fucking filet mignon. If it's perfectly in the middle of that fucking thing, it gets direct heat all directly around it. It's perfect. It's a perfect thing to cook a filet mignon on, 100%.
A cylinder of fire, yeah,
Yeah.
fucking for sure.
You just sear it. The better sear you get, the more juices you trap in, the better.
Yeah,
your
I'm
cut
not gonna
comes
lie,
out.
that wasn't my best sear because
The heat wasn't
coals-
as high. Yeah.
what we need to do realistically
Let's
is
cook on that.
directly
We
on that.
should've.
The second it's ready,
We
you
were just
slap
trying
it
to
on
be
there.
fancy
We were
today
trying
for
to
the
put it on the
show.
cart for the aesthetic.
Oh yeah, it
And
gets
just
a
to
nice
show,
elevates it.
this
You
is what
can
we can
show
do.
on camera and shit.
Yeah, exactly.
Did you guys smoke this? Did you smoke this?
But yeah, man. Thanks Lenny and fucking
To the
Pat
Warner
for
Brothers.
popping out.
Thanks to
Thanks
our
Bree
sponsors.
for popping out.
Top Golf. Thanks to
Thanks-
our
I didn't even realize there was all
Thanks
this
to the
go.
shit
homie
going on
fucking
here. This
Steve.
is even
Thanks to
better.
fucking Angelo. Wagyu Monday in the books and documented. I think it's good for the culture. And I hope y'all learned something and enjoyed it. And we'll catch you next time, man. Salute.